The time has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. My door is still open. 1 second. Okay, now the time has arrived, ladies and gentlemen, for the final round of ARC's Endurance Championship on GT7. And we round things off much like IMSA in real life with the Petit Le Mans. And 1.2 hours, I think it's just an hour and 15. It's either an hour and 15 or it's just an hour in game time. I don't actually know. We'll find out in due time. But for the moment, we are just getting qualifying underway. AJ has just started the first time lap of the qualifying session. And the points battle is, well, for Hypercar, there just isn't one. In retrospect, maybe I should actually be in the GT lobby because that's the one that's sending a driver home today. But there's no such thing with GT. Or, what? No, with Hypercar. Everybody in Hypercar is making it, which means that Deshaun Davis, on the 10th and final time of asking, will finally get to make an AEC start. Deshaun Davis is actually, I find this absolutely hilarious. He is 5th in points with 9 DNQs. Just because you get points for making qualifying. So he's basically gotten like 8th, 9th, 10th place points 9 times. And that's put him over many drivers who have full stop missed a race or two. He's ahead of his team owner Adam Pelk, despite the fact that Adam Pelk has made grids and finished races. AJ puts in, I think, an invalidated lap time, unless that's a bug on the right side. But Matt Hall with a 108.5 is currently top of the charts. We'll see how long that lasts. Not very long. Jackson Altman immediately finds a .3, and I reckon it looks like Matt Hall's teammate Boryoshi is about to blow both of those laps out of proportion with a 108 flat. I believe these are by far the shortest laps of the season here at Road Atlanta. Okay, so that was a bug. AJ's 108.6 was a valid time, and Gran Turismo 7 is just messing with me, as it is often one to do. A 110.7 from Adam Pelk. Already had an invalid outlap, or no, that just was the outlap, so never mind. Deshaun Davis is also on an outlap. AJ runs a second lap, and that's a 7.89. I can read. Matt Hall gains a couple of tenths. Jumps Jackson Altman with a .30. But Altman taking a little bit too much curve. That's going to hurt him a bit, I think. But we'll see if he still finds a 2 or not. No. He lost a ton of time on the exit of the chicane. Alexis already on his way down the back straightaway, but as I was beginning to mention, there really isn't a points battle in Hypercar going into this last race. AJ has a deficit, no, an advantage of 23 points, which means that by simply starting this race, he's basically got it locked up. Heredia's first effort is an 8 flat as well, 3rd on the grid. Another couple hundredths in hand for Matt Hall. That one doesn't get him any higher up on the scoreboard, however. Deshaun Davis, can he go ahead of his teammate by 3.5 tenths? He will go ahead of his team owner. Jackson Altman with an 8.200 to go back ahead of Matt Hall. These two are playing leapfrog. That's clearly an in-lap from Yoshi there, and that's going to be a dangerous thing today, is that pit entrance and exit. The pit entry here is really awkwardly placed on top of a hill. It's hard to see exactly where the pit entry line is. And I imagine we'll probably have a little bit of, probably some collisions happening from drivers either going on the way into the pits or on their way out of the pits as they feed directly into the racing line heading towards turn 2. Something is going to happen. I just have the sneaking suspicion. And chances are the pit entry or exit lines are going to be at least partially responsible. Whilst AJ is being brought to a dead stop. Alexis Heredia is not on pace whatsoever. Jackson Altman, I think, is on an in-lap. Yeah, he's literally driving into the pit lane. Not a single car is on a timed, viable lap right now. Not when Heredia is something like 4.5 tenths down on his previous best, I think I saw. Oh, unless I'm thinking of something else. This is probably an in-lap. Yeah, he's 3/4 of a second down. So that's very clearly not a push lap. AJ Knickel will finally continue and begin an actual lap time here with just over 3 minutes left to go in qualifying. Hitting all of the curb up 2/10 despite already having provisional pole in hand, but yeah, that was a lot of curb he took, and that lap has been toasted. An opportunity is in the air for Boryoshi. He makes his way up the hill. Oh, then the hill has made its way on top of him. That didn't make any sense, but the car is unhappy with Yoshi's course of action. Jackson Altman with pit exit penalty or pit entry, one of the two. You can't really differentiate. Heredia gets the same treatment, but it's better to get that on the out lap than in an actual lap. Obviously, it's impossible not to get it. Basically, don't get penalized on a lap that matters, like AJ did. And now he's taking another attempt at it. He'll get 2 more tries, I believe. Actually, no, I don't even think he has the fuel for 2 laps. I think he's going to bank it all on this one. This is an out lap. Never mind. I don't know what I am talking about. Ignore me. Last chance for Boryoshi, I think, though. His fuel tank is basically empty. Jackson Altman is constructing a lap. He's at the middle point of it already. Yoshi flying down the S's, which hardly even feel like turns for the hypercar, even in spite of all its understeer. Adam Pelk finds a better lap time, but can't even manage to overtake his teammate on the timing sheet. Oh, that is very, very wide for Yoshi out of that slow right-hander. Sure, the stewards didn't seem to care, but he's definitely going to be feeling that exit all the way down the back straightaway, up until he finds the brake pedal. He's still up 0.04, but he's going to need just an inch more than that to get ahead of AJ Knickel, who himself has recently begun his, I think, final attempt. He's up 1/10. And Boryoshi can't even find an answer for AJ Knickel's previous lap time. Jackson Altman down 1/10 or so. It's going to be down to either Heredia or Matt Hall to attempt to dethrone the all but clinched season champion. And he's up 2/10 now, so he's just going to move the goalpost even farther away. Adam Pelk does finally find a time that trounces his teammate, but Deshaun is going to have one more chance to take that back away from his team owner. AJ Knickel, last turn, a 7.8. I think that says I'm too far away from my screen. Nope, that's a 6. That is a 6.81. I am so far away from my screen I can barely even tell. A 2.85 for Jackson Altman. That is his attempt over. Matt Hall will be done first as he heads through the final chicane of the lap. 7 seconds to go. One more apex to hit. It's not a very hard one to hit in this car. And it is not an improvement for him. Boriyoshi abandons the attempt. Does the 6 car of Alexis Heredia have it in him to take one last pole position on the season? The answer to that question is no. He will jump Boriyoshi, but that is the most that he can muster. And the ECR duo will head across the line. Adam Pelk just shy of the 9s, a 1:10.022. Deshaun Davis has an answer, exactly 1/10 over his team owner. So even if we were sending somebody home, Deshaun Davis would have sent his teammate home, but we don't have to worry about that. And there's your qualifying session for hypercars. Like I said, I think I would have probably been better off in the GT one where there's actually somebody going home, since we have 9 GTs attempting to make the race. However, oh, I just saw the top there. Okay, so it's an hour and a half race ahead of us. Thank God I got a drink next to me, because my throat is probably going to be very upset with me by the time we are done here. So while the lobby and everything is getting set up properly, I will take a brief intermission to indulge that. A keen eye may see that I'm currently sitting in a Group 4 car, kind of teasing at the upcoming ARC Touring Car Championship, starting this time next week for the opening round at Brands Hatch, a track that I'm very glad I don't have to drive on. Full transparency here. I can't stand that place, personally. But yeah, teasing not only the, the future championship, but also its, well, my own team, Nuclear Fusion Racing, one of its 2 liveries for it. Interesting setup. I have personally designed this Toho project-themed Subaru Group 4 for Logan Cool, whilst AJ is setting up more, shall we say, vanilla liveries for the vehicle for my other driver, Logan Taylor, and any potential third suitor for the what? Any potential third driver for the team. Where is he going? Where are they going, actually? Are we moving to the other lobby? Or is there some kind of bug going on? I'm thinking we're moving to the other lobby. I mean, I'll know when AJ backs out of it, for sure, because then it'll just kick me out of here, but in the meantime, I'm going to stay where I am and just see what happens. Yes, Arc Socials. I know that somebody has gone live. I am the one doing the live stream. Thank you for informing me of something I already knew. I'm just using our intermission here to read up on the regulations, rules, and settings for ARC Touring Car, so I understand. Also, it's not challenge, it's cup, so pardon my indiscretion. I'm gonna go ahead and assume, because I know he was around, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that the GT3 we sent home was Joel Grant. The other unfortunate contender who just never got to make a race, because we sent at least one guy home every week he was here. This is the first time we've had we've had 7 or fewer hypercars, and that's the only reason Deshaun has been guaranteed to finally make a race. He would have qualified into the race if there were more than 7, because he trounced Adam Pelf, but yeah, and he was here, but I think he was told to leave. Waiting for the starting grid to be set. Are there somebody on the track? There are 2 people getting extra time in. I'd rather not just stare at a car in pit lane. That is dirt. This isn't where that is. Oh. when I needed him the most to have something on in the background until the race officially begins. That was also Logan. I wouldn't be surprised if Logan noticed there's nobody on the track and heard me making a joke about there being nobody to look at and he's on the track just to make sure that there was a screensaver. However, I wouldn't recommend that racing line in the future, Logan. I'm gonna be real with you. Just live with my beard scratching. I did not properly clean it when I showered earlier today. I'm regretting everything. Alright, here we go. Now we are officially in the end game, I guess. You see if we can also find where that was placed. Somewhere at some point was shown, excuse me. I've lost track of it, but I know that there was a team standings posted somewhere. I don't even think it's actually close enough between most of the teams for it to matter. The only thing that was really a contest is kind of settled because there are no Nexus hypercars, so nevertheless, the starting grid will be for the season finale, the Petit Le Mans. AJ Knickel with pole, followed by Heredia, who You didn't get it this time. Honestly, almost a little surprised. Boryoshi, Jackson Altman, Matt Hall, Deshaun Davis with his first and only start, and Adam Pelk rounds out the hypercar grid. Ridwan took pole as a reserve in GT3 since he is filling in for, I guess, well, no, he's not filling in for Joel Grant. We saw him here, so that means he's not even scoring points. Or no. Wait. No, yes. Maybe. I don't actually remember how that works. Either way, his teammate, Yunus Itkunen, has taken a very important second-place qualifying spot. I wouldn't be surprised if Ridwan is just kind of here to play wingman for him, because that is the big storyline going into this race, is that the GT title fight is still very intense. It is 4 points separating Yunus Itkunen and Scott Frederick. Stefan Rogerschad starts in between them, as was the case at Interlagos last round before Easter break. Holden Horn starts 5th in class. Preston Van Wee starts 6th, followed by AJ Oxtokolnis. I've finally gotten a pronunciation confirmation from Preston himself. Apparently they've joined together and will be on ECR for ATCC together next season. And finally, Logan Cool rounds out our grid. One more running for the waifu Acura Honda NSX thing, whatever. The grid doubles up. We apparently are actually spreading out the fields this time. I don't remember that being a thing we were having to do, or not having to, but I don't remember that being mandatory in previous races, but we're doing it here. Upon AJ's signal, there's not much distance between the final corner and the okay, we're green. I guess we're not doing that. We're green for the Petit Le Mans 90 minutes of racing to decide, well, the GT3 championship. AJ Knickel, barring incredible circumstances, will pretty much win the hypercar title just by being here, and by Dominic Kubinski, who was second in points, not being here. Oh boy, oh boy. The FR Racing duo darn near wrecking each other at the first hurdle, right there. But they managed to survive. Where is Deshaun? What has happened to you, Deshaun? That's going to be interesting, as he has to make his way back through all of the GT3s back-to-back. That is rough. Logan Cool got ahead of AJ Oxtokolnis off the start, although apparently he doesn't actually mind being called AJ2. He thinks it's funny, I think. Either that, or at least Preston thought it was funny on his behalf, one or the other. Or just watching Davis cruise up the order. He should be back ahead of them all by the end of this lap. Should be able to just kind of send it on the Lexus pair. No, he's not going to do that. He's going to wait. There is nothing going on back here. Alright, we are going to look back at the GT3s, because that looks like a NASCAR race up there. I'm sorry, did I say that out loud? Deshaun passes Itkunen, and he is finally released. Just don't do that again, or you'll have to pass them all over again. This is a very important deal for Scott Frederick. This pass needs to be made as soon as possible. He cannot allow Yunus to get away. Simple as that. Because he's already on the back foot in the point standings. He is the one that is 4 down from Itkunen. He certainly doesn't need to have an AMG in between him and his title rival. He needs to actually be ahead of the Lexus driver. So he's got to make 2 passes if he wants this GT3 title. I think he had the better run there, but the AMG just has more power. Though Slipstream may change things. It's not changing much. Clearly there's much more downforce being run there. Yunus actually had a look at his team owner there, but decided not to force the issue. AJ already with a 2-second advantage. He is on the softer tires, so it's perhaps to be expected he's pulling away from the 3 cars behind him, who are all on mediums. Matt Hall, Adam Pelk, and Deshaun Davis are all on softs, so just 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Pretty easy to compartmentalize that. Man, any closer, and you'll be knocking his diffuser off, Frederick. Holy cow. That's a slide from, I don't know, it looks like maybe Ridwan. I definitely heard one of the Lexuses just lose control ever so slightly. Roboshot has, whether intentionally or not, managed to back Scott Frederick up to his own teammate, Holden Horn. I don't necessarily think Holden will be much of an issue. I don't think he's going to be bugging him anyway. Yeah, Slipstream is just not achieving anything for Frederick right now. The AMG not only seems to have more power... What? Did Roboshot just let him by? Interesting. Also, Eunice got ahead of Ridwan. I don't know if that was also how much like team orders that was, or if that was just Eunice just saying, "I'm gonna pass you now. I'm gonna pass you." Bonus points to the two people here that understand what I just referenced. No, I believe Boryoshi is doing the same, different strategies. Might as well let the softer tires have a go. He could very well pick his way through a couple of cars yet with those tires if he's quick about it. Well, I don't know, maybe Roboshot may be having some issues of some kind, or he's fuel saving, because now Holden Horn has also overtaken the AMG, and he's got company from the Corvette behind. However, I have the sneaking suspicion that Ridwan will not afford Scott Frederick the same hospitality. That's his teammate going for a championship. I'd be very surprised if even if at the peak of fuel saving, Ridwan does anything like letting that Porsche go ahead. So Scott Frederick has his work absolutely cut out for him. He's going to have to pass 2 FR racing cars. Something he's probably not used to, I would say. Which, as I had previously estimated, is probably the exact reason why Ridwan has showed up in GT3 when he is reserved in Hypercar for every other race thus far. It's probably specifically to assist Eunice, and there's nothing against that. Part of me wants to say that that's kind of cheesy strategy, but it's not. It's just being smart. Too wide. I think Ridwan actually backed off a tiny bit to force this battle, it kind of seemed like. It may not benefit him any, although he is still alongside, so... Yeah, I almost wonder if that was exactly what Ridwan did. Still too wide, the pair of them go through the pair of right-handers. Scott Frederick does get ahead, but that has given Eunice quite a bit of breathing room. 2 seconds and change. Deshaun Davis is already pitting. Oh, that left front shredded. Oh, goodness. Oh, Ridwan's not done yet either. He's just gonna floor it down the back straightaway. And the Porsche, despite putting Ridwan in the dirt, is unable to do anything about it. I don't quite understand the strategy here. I can imagine doing that the other way around. Oh, there's the first one of those. I think we'll be seeing a few of them today. Oh, we have our first blue flags. AJ has basically caught the one battle on track going on between Scott and Ridwan. That is a bit of an ambush on the Porsche. Scott was all ready to turn in and then surprise Vision 47 car. Already a Having to get a little physical to get through. He's on the run from Jackson Altman at the moment. I had not noticed these two were this close together. They're on the same strategy. And yeah, this is definitely tightening up. The old adage, you know, buddies off the track, but there are no friends on a race course. So Heredia is running for his life. There is a unison in the way. Jackson Altman is not going to be pleased. He's going to lose a boatload of time and a boatload of traction trying to navigate the RCF. It cost him half a second right there, just trying to get by. Matt Hall has not really gotten ahead of Boryoshi as much as anticipated, I would say. He's actually not really gotten ahead of him at all. Boryoshi's in slipstream range as they're picking through the top half of the GT class themselves. It's also separated Ridwan and Scott, even if ever so slightly. Did Logan pit earlier or something? Or has he just been really good on his tires? I'm not certain. Deshaun Davis is back behind. He's back behind GT cars again. What did this? I know not. I do not quite understand. Now we'll focus our attention back here. Just due to the implications of it. It's not really a battle, but it's still just like Scott needs to do something, you know? The championship hopes are roughly 2.5 seconds up the road, if not more. Probably closer to 3, actually, if you round up. Duh, Riker. Yeah, there's Adam Pelk. I don't think he will be interfering with this fight any, since that is the back straightaway. It's also not really a fight just yet, because he is still over a second behind Hamza. Holding Horn must have had some kind of problem. I just realized that he's way back here. Not really a whole lot to report at the moment. So there's something to report. Adam Pelk has left the racetrack. Oh boy, oh man. Bit of contact made between him and Scott Frederick as he was trying to sneak his way onto the track, but the laws of physics just kind of push your car wide there. There's really nothing Scott could do about it. Actually, if anything's closing up right now, it looks like it's gonna be Eunice versus Ridwan. Eunice is maybe saving fuel or something, or maybe just off the pace at the moment. Maybe he had a mistake a few moments ago, I'm not exactly sure. But now his teammate is right back up to him. And Scott Frederick is not far away from Ridwan either, and Deshaun Davis is coming up to pass the three of them for position because he has had a miserable outing. It's the only one he's getting, and he's not doing a whole lot with it, all things considered. However, it doesn't really seem like he's going to have much of an impact on the battle. He's going to be able to get ahead of all three cars. Never mind, he's not going to... he's going to go out of his way to not affect Eunice there by just backing out and waiting. It'd be a little bit terrifying for Eunice, but not slowing him down. Not directly, anyway. Now he will go by. Oh my word, both FR cars lose it at the same turn. Ridwan is off the track. Has to scramble not to be in Stefan's way. And that has given Scott Frederick the race lead practically for free. I think they were both distracted as Deshaun Davis had an incident up ahead of them. And I think they just kind of got torn between, do I avoid this? It also looks like he may have been hit by one of them. Or he may have just hit a wall, actually. Considering he did spin. But that has very quickly turned this race on its head. That means Eunice has, outside of, say, a safety car, has... I'm surprised that wasn't one, actually. I should probably check if it wasn't. It was not. AJ is going full speed. Is in fact passing Ridwan as we speak. Yeah, that means that unless a safety car occurs, Eunice has lost his wingman in Ridwan, and he's lost the lead to his title rival. Suddenly, with that one Deshaun Davis incident, that has changed the points leader in the GT3 field. That has given Scott Frederick the lead of the race, and I believe the advantage on the title. I don't actually know the point system per se, but I'm pretty sure it's more than 5 points between him, or between first and second. And it's only 4 points on the table between him and Eunice. And you can definitely tell that Eunice is scrambling to make up the difference now, because I just noticed that he was not in a lower fuel mix at all just there. That's a blue flag. I was like trying to figure out who is that coming up on them, but the camera would not stay there. That is AJ. So AJ catches the battle for the GT3 title in the most awkward place to catch anybody. He's able to navigate Eunice with no issue, and now he'll just have a straight shoot with which to overtake the 17 of Scott. And the GT3s can only hope that the other hypercars can pick through them so easily. Reddy is about to reach the battle. There he is. And be of no consequence to Itkonen, and Heredia, yeah, he will wisely just wait for a better opportunity to go by. I don't think he even had a chance to go by Scott Frederick there, even if he had wanted to. Jackson Altman should not... I don't think he'll be too far away. Nope, there he is. And he, much like his team owner, will be catching this battle in the most awkward place. He's also not... He's lost a lot of time to Yoshi. Yoshi has more pace than Matt Hall, and he's on the harder tires. Oh, they're getting argy-bargy. That's going to lose huge time for Jackson Altman as he's trying to navigate the Porsche. Yoshi just flies in like Superman and says, "Give me that, thank you." Up to the podium for Yoshi. Does Altman have a response? We'll see as we hit onto the back straightaway. I don't think so, though. Jackson Altman has no battery charge left in his hybrid system. Yoshi still has a decent chunk, so that's evening out the slipstream that Jackson Altman is getting from where he is. And so that is just third place handed to the 41 car. Meanwhile, Irkkonen is up to the back of his rival. The hunt is absolutely on. We're only a third of the way through the race, but I can guarantee you Eunice is not going to sit around and leave anything up to chance or I'll do it later. Not at this stage, not after what just happened a handful of laps ago that gave him a bit of reality check that he is not safe. Nothing is safe, until except for AJ's title, until the checkered flag is waving. And Stefan Robichaud is catching both of them, as a matter of fact. First yawn of the night, not a fantastic sign, considering I woke up really early today. And I still got an hour and change left of this to do. I can't really afford to get tired for at least another hour. I could maybe scrape by with, you know, yawns and stuff for the last like 10 minutes, but we're at the 22-minute mark of the race. Why is there yellow? Oh, that is a spun AJ2 right there. At the top of the hill, I imagine. No, he wouldn't have been trying to get into the pits because he's got fresh tires. He probably just came out of the pits. Already with a penalty, but I think he's got a bit of time to spare since he's got a 6-second advantage. Jackson Altman trying to get in Boryoshi's head, flashing his headlights down the short chute. Scott, I think your left front tire needs to be changed. I think its time has passed. Yeah, the pit cycle will be interesting to see here. It looks like Jonas could still do a lap or two with that left front, and Frenchie's on the medium tires. Oh, that is spicy right there. Frenchie's on the medium tires. He will definitely be able to go to the end of that fuel tank. Which may not only give him the advantage long term, it could even give him an advantage here and now, depending on how his outlap and such is. Scott elects to not pit. His left front will not like that, as he will be on rims probably by the end of the second sector here. He's already losing pace. Eunice is right there on his diffuser now. And Eunice is going to be able to gain a bunch of time too, because he's been fuel saving, or the Lexus is just also better on fuel too. That's helping. He's going to be able to save time when he does pit, because he has way more fuel. He doesn't need to take as much when he stops here in a couple of laps to fill it back up. Scott's not exactly low on fuel either, but that's still below a quarter. While Eunice is at like definitely at least 30%, probably about a third of the tank. Going bored with the Lexus here because that camera is way too far away. And there's just nothing. Frederick is helpless. He has nothing to fight that with. He is out of fuel. Not really, but he's probably in a lower fuel mix. Slipstream, better exit, better ingredients, better pizza. Papa Eunice. And now Scott Frederick will concede defeat, but I'm pretty sure he just ran over the pit entry line at least once or twice, so he's going to be getting smacked with that penalty. And now we'll see if Robichaud has anything to offer the current points leader. Although they're better than Frederick's were, that doesn't mean that Itkonen's tires are in good shape. But those mediums are looking rather healthy. Very interesting to see at the very last race of the season somebody not named Scott or Eunice finally take a GT3 category win, because yeah, fun fact, those two have won all 9 races so far. Nobody else has even had a chance except for Mate, and he only ran a single race. He only ran Fuji. Robichaud is lifting. He does not want to interfere with the title battle. I mean, that's a class act and all, but at the same time, this is still a race. He is, by all accounts, allowed to go for it, especially with the run he had. That would have been a pretty safe move to make, and probably wouldn't have lost them that much time if he executed it well. That's right, we reward points at the halfway mark of the race as well. I forgot about that. I don't know how that works. I just know it's there. See, Eunice is about to have to go in this lap because his tires are shredded, whilst Robichaud is going to have to go in this lap because his fuel tank is about to run out in a lap or two. And I don't think he really wants to play with fire in that regard. Hamza will also be doing the same. That is a battle for the race lead. Oh yeah, because AJ's tires are gone, and Heredia's are not. That would do it. But also Heredia's fuel tank is gone and AJ's isn't, so... They might both be going in, no. Neither of them go in, huh? Are we under a safety car? Why is there a safety car? Oh, is that a spun to Sean Davis again? Well, this will be interesting. That kinda... I don't know how that affects things, honestly. I know it definitely hurts anybody who's already pit, so Jackson Altman, I think, just got oofed. Eunice just went in as the caution was called. I don't know what his fate will be. He and Scott, they didn't have a choice. They both ran their tanks dry, I think. Certainly the most interesting time to have a yellow thrown. I have to see the exact outcomes of everything before I can really cover the ramifications of the safety car. Pit lane is about to open. We'll find out exactly who ends up where once all is said and done. Yeah, that seems pretty obvious. They just pit. They don't have to do it again. All three of them. And we will also be back with them as well, but... I mean, this is a safety car, so everybody is going to be bunched back up. Even Oxtaconis, who's going to get a wave around, which he is, I believe, currently taking. Jackson Altman. Never mind. I think he got caught. I think he got caught pitting at the wrong time, but that's by the way things seem. He got an EOL. Probably a case where he went in like right as the caution was called, and it was technically an illegal pit stop or something, and so he got an EOL for that. Another drink. It's like super weird. What is going on here? Oh, I guess it's just the hypercars are not rushing things when it's coming to and going back by the cars that didn't pit there. I was just like so confused. I didn't really understand what was going on at first. I'm just a fool. What is that down there? What am I sitting on? Absolutely nothing. Okay. Huh. That felt funny. Anyway, weird. I don't even know what to call that. Felt like I was sitting on, like, a piece of food or something. So the top three remain as they were. Preston Van Wee has jumped Ridwan in the pit cycle here under safety car. Has definitely saved Holden's bacon as he's now back with the pack and he's going to be able to at least attempt to make his way back up the field. And Logan will have a shot at overtaking Oxtaconis to get out of last. Jackson Altman will have his work cut out for him. He is probably the third or fourth fastest car at least, but he's back in sixth after his EOL for some kind of pit violation. We should be green right here once AJ decides to depress the gas. And we are back green from the just absolute darkness that is Road Atlanta. 35 minutes have elapsed as we take the green flag for the second time. Jackson Altman is immediately going to get ahead of Adam Pelk. No time wasted there. But I'm mostly interested in what happens between these two. That is, yeah, yep. Now kiss. That's about how close they were. They just about could have. That was either a bad exit for Jonas or a good exit for Frederick. Either way, too wide at the double right-hander. Frederick forced the long way around. Can he do a crossover maneuver? Crossover attack for the Porsche. They are literally fender to fender, door to door, heading up the hill. Scott Frederick with the clear advantage. What do you see, Frenchie? Oh, you see absolute chaos. You see a position. You see the race lead. Holy acceleration. Stefan Robichaud slingshots ahead of Frederick. Can he get it done on Edkanen? Race leader, Stefan Robichaud, the AMG V8 just screamed in the night right there. But that is not the end of the story, because Scott Frederick doesn't really care about Robichaud. He cares about Edkanen. That is the guy he needs to be ahead of if he wants this championship. I mean, everybody's keeping pace for the most part, except for the back two. Logan Cool has overtaken Oxtaconis, as I suspected may happen, as the latter is on the harder tires at the moment. Ridwan's got to get past Preston on his own. This is a new one. These two have never raced before, because Ridwan's been in the hypercar class every race. I'm basically bump drafting the Corvette through the first right-hander. We'll see who has the advantage down the straight between these two, as is the case with Ridwan's teammate and Scott Frederick. The battle continues down the back straightaway once again. But it's just... Frederick is running too high a downforce setting on that Porsche. He's not able to get anything done on the back straightaway. And Preston holds off the RCF in his mirrors. Holden Horn, they take advantage of that fact in the near future. You've got like little sets of three here. Robichaud is kind of getting away from the other two on his group, but Preston is just kind of... I don't want to say he's in the way. He's not in the way. He's obstructing Ridwan and Holden, is the best way to put that, I think. And then there's just two others. And then Logan and AJ2 are just kind of having a good old time, I assume. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not them. I'm not in their head. Possible opportunity once again. I feel like I've said that a few times for Frederick, and he's just not had the straight line speed to capitalize. Needs to take a couple clicks off of the rear wing. Or maybe get a V8. Could have had a V8. Boom! I don't even think they do advertisements anymore. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your Virtue's advertisements are. Still no chance for Scott Frederick, unless he's just in a lower fuel mix. I don't think so, though. I have no way of knowing, because I don't think he took a full tank on this pit stop anyway. That's a line. Ridwan has finally overtaken the Corvette, presumably at the chicane. Holden Horn has not made such progress yet. Oh, I tuned into the right moment as Jackson Allman just dusts Heredia on the back straightaway. Heredia clearly is the one fuel saving at the moment, or he just had a really bad exit from the right-hander that came before. Reggie's not escaping, but he's not losing time either. That's about, that's pretty much saying about the same between him and Jonas. Jonas isn't really able to focus on trying to attack the AMG, though, just because he's having to worry about his actual title rival filling up his mirrors. And if he can just masterfully hold him off for just a little bit, his teammate is on the way. Dramatic camera zoom. Still no effort from the 17. That's the closest he's ever been, and it's not even a contest there. Again, bumper to bumper. Definitely can read the license plate from there if that car had one. No doubt there. Though in saying that, Red One's not catching them because he's on the harder tires. Oh, I just noticed that Eunice is on the harder tires. Though that's not an immediate death wish at the moment because we're not even halfway through the race. Everybody is stopping again. It doesn't matter what tires they're on right now, and I can almost guarantee you everybody is going to go to the soft tires if they can for the final leg of the race. The pace difference is so extreme. And the fuel tank doesn't last long enough in these GT3s especially to really justify going to the mediums. So, at least that's just my analysis. Obviously, I don't know 100%, but that just, I feel like I got a keen eye for this kind of thing. I'm watching 15 different people every week, each one having different experiences and interacting with their cars in different ways. It just seems like the commonality of it is the fuel tank does not last long enough for mediums, but lasts too long for soft tires. And it's just really weird that Catch-22, that the Group 3s especially are just forced to live with. They don't have a choice. It's less of a thing with hypercars, their tire wear is just less across the board. But GTs just shred their tires, especially certain models, and certain drivers are just worse with tires as well. Not a problem for these two. Oh! That is a takedown! That is a brutal takedown! Just a slight bumper to the back of the 46. He's having a hard time even finding a safe time to return to the racetrack, but that is an ugly piece of contact that's going to give Scott Frederick second place. We continue racing. That wasn't a safety car, as it was only a single car, but that single car got absolutely annihilated. Also, what in the world happened that Altman is in second? What happened to you, Boriyoshi? Okay, no, never mind. That is a caution. That's just a delayed call. Probably make wait and see. Jesus. That was just absolutely brutal takedown. Oh, it was also Deshaun spinning again at the slow right-hander. I don't know if that corner has a name or something. I feel like it does. I just don't know what it is. Even if we got he got a safety car for his troubles, did Eunice, but he's still gonna have to cut his way through the entire GT3 field to get back up to his opponent in this title. Some of them will be made a little easier for him. I know he's going to have an obvious straight line speed advantage over the Honda. He's just also going to be faster than these two because, I mean, it's Jonas Edkunen. He's won like half of the races this season. I'm sure he's going to be faster than cars who have failed to qualify on multiple occasions. The rush to catch up is almost looks like they're racing still. I think they're just messing with each other. I was like, yeah, there's no way you're trying to distract him on their safety car. There's no chance. But I know one overtake that's going to be absolutely devastating for him to make. He's going to have to try and get past Scott's teammate now. Earlier, Scott had to try and negotiate Ridwan, and that was giving Jonas the advantage because Ridwan was just in his way. Now, Holden Horn gets a chance to play winning man for his teammate. Dang, we still haven't got them? Jeez. They were literally on like opposite sides of the circuit, clearly. Or maybe they're on the same side and they're just having to quickly wrap back around. Pits will be open in like a minute from now. You've crested the halfway mark under safety car conditions, which means that Eunice is going to get absolutely no halfway points. I wouldn't be surprised if that's a penalty, honestly. I mean, I feel like if I were Eunice and that just cost me the title, I'm submitting the hell out of that. Like, I don't care how much sportsmanship there is, that is a... Unless it's just obviously leg, and I suppose the drivers would know that, if it is or not. I couldn't really tell. I think it was, because those two were just... He was tailgating him for so long that there was no way that that slight bump would have been enough to send the Lexus for a spill, if not for, I think, you know, for a bit of assistance from latency. So I guess it would be harder to penalize that, but it doesn't really change the fact that that has knocked Eunice around in an unfathomably brutal sense. Oh, I was like, oh, did he just give him damage? That would that'd be like the funniest thing to me, because then Logan's picture would fix his car, and vice versa if Eunice got front end damage from that. Now my previous belief is not really so founded, because I don't know who would be, you know, who's gonna go on what tires. Like, it was an easy calculation to make. Boryoshi has just taken the lead of the race from this pit stop. He took, like, no fuel, that's why. There's a track position maneuver right there for Boryoshi. It's worked, he's got the lead. Altman has jumped over his teammate as well as AJ fills the tank back up. Now we got Holden and Scott messing with each other with the headlights, and they're, oh yeah, because they both stayed out. Yeah, track position. That's another one there too. Even if Scott's gonna have to pit again either way, but now he's got a medium running Holden horn directly at his tail gunner position, ready to head off all comers and protect that race lead. See if maybe another safety car happens that might bail Scott Frederick out as well. What's the sky doing? Why is the sky on fire? Is the sun already coming up? I really wish that one of these cars had a clock on their like their wheels or dashboard displays. Well, they'll make it a little easier. Eunice has passed 2 cars just by taking probably less fuel. Oh, we're green. I didn't realize the whole field was already there. Yeah, we're just green again from Petit Le Mans. Good thing I don't have to react to any restarts. I've been very slow on that today. Huh? Did Logan, like, botch the start or something? What is going on there? Did you, like, spin when you put the throttle down? Or did he just, like... Oh, Deshaun is passing the Group 3s. Is that what happened to Logan, maybe? I don't know. That's right, that's not a prototype. Robichaud has just made easy work of Holden. The AMG once again just embarrasses the competition once we get to the back straightaway. And presumably it's a combo of low wings and just the AMG usually being a pretty good pick for a straightaway in any racing game that features GT3 cars, which to be fair is most of them these days. Even the ones that aren't really specifically about motorsports still find a way to include a couple of GT3s. Even like Forza Horizon has them, I believe. And like the Crew Motorfest and stuff. Irkunen has overtaken Preston. who himself is still under threat from Oxtacolnus. That is a lot of dirt. That is a very sideways holding. That is a save and a half from the 21 car. But that's not going to grant him any mercy from Ridwan. It's also not going to grant him any mercy from the stewards either. So there goes Scott's wingman. He's going to get passed by both Lexi out of the same turn. Are they bump drafting? Okay, no, Eunice just pulled aside and took the place. I was like, are they bump drafting in RCF Group 3s? No, actually, they were about to fight for a position, but I think Ridwan backed out of it. That's demoted Holden to second to last. He probably would be last if not for whatever happened to Logan Cool. Robichaud looking for a chance to take the lead back from Scott Frederick. Those are fresh, soft tires compared to like a 60% dead soft tires, so this one might be done before we even get to the back straightaway if Robichaud plays his cards well. And if I'm Scott Frederick, I don't know if I care if that happens, but at the same time I don't really think there's much you can do about it. Everything fell apart super quickly for Holden Horn when he had that mistake, and that was something that I think Scott was relying on, is to have his teammate there to provide covering fire, so to speak. Now he is completely exposed, and Stefan Robichaud, he likes them vulnerable. Just the closing speed is insane. This is almost like Group 3 versus Group 4 levels right here. 163. Scott Frederick can hold out on the brakes a little bit longer. Door-to-door contact being made. He is fighting him off, but that's just losing him time to Eunice, who is very rapidly approaching his location. He's darn near arrived at his location, actually. You ever just DoorDash yourself a Finnish driver? Delivered right to Scott Frederick's doorstep? You ain't getting this pizza for free, buddy. Scott needs another safety car, like he needs a bullet into the head, basically. Because, otherwise his reign as the championship leader comes to an end in approximately, I would say, what, 3/4 of a mile? Although that wasn't the greatest exit for Eunice there. The fresher tires, slipstream, lower wings, more power. This is the move that could win the championship for him right here. Down the inside. Can Scott be brave enough on the brakes? He absolutely cannot. He had nothing to offer. His tires are too long gone for that. But at the same time, though, I don't think either one of them, I don't think anybody for that matter in this category, is getting to the end of the race from here. Speaking of the end of the race, I forgot there's a hypercar class. I legitimately forgot. Send from H.A. Knickel. Heredia has to just turn out of the corner. There's no way he can contest that way. But that is a massive exit for the 6 car. Oh, I'm not used to the speed difference. They just tore through that corner and my brain just could not understand. I could not underhand. Huh. Rikerism for you there, folks. In fact, now, Heredia is actually under threat from Boryoshi, but the threat will not come to pass just yet. Jackson Allman has a 3-second lead. This fuel tank is not made to go the distance, though. He just ran the fastest lap of the race on the last time around. That will do it. Yeah, that is how you give yourself a race lead, and a margin for that as well. He's going faster. Sir, You are on pace for a 107. You're on pace to beat your qualifying lap time in the race. 55, damn near 56 minutes into the race. Excuse my French there. He didn't quite get it done. That's still another 8-0 to AJ Knickel's 8-2. And an 8-9 from Heredia. That's AJ's fastest lap of the race. And he still lost time to Jackson Altman. But then again, now he's in traffic. That's the word, traffic. Then again, so is AJ. AJ is struggling to overtake AJ. I've been waiting to say that. Frederick has no choice. He has just pit, cut his losses there. His tires have run out of life. Wait, what? How did it couldn't get ahead of Robichaud? When did this happen? Oh, that is a very sketchy overtake on his own teammate there. That I would be maybe a little bit freaked out in Robichaud's shoes there. But I mean, AJ's probably like, yeah, he has to run. He's got Heredia right there. They're already all clear of all of the GT3s. That was very quick. And that bit of being lapped has really put a big separation between Stefan and Eunice as well. He's got breathing room. About just shy of 2 seconds worth of it. I think unless we get something astronomically crazy to happen here, I think this is Eunice Edkinen's championship right here. I don't know if it's his race yet. Robichaud is still pretty close, but I think Scott staying out there was just not the move. He was on terms. I don't know. He could have pit and still been ahead of Eunice, though. I'm just not sure I follow. I get the idea, but I know what he was hoping for, and obviously just didn't really come to pass. But I think even if their plan did work the way it did, I just don't see how that gets Scott Frederick the championship. It's like he was focused on the race win, and obviously that's the easiest way to guarantee the title, but I think he may have maybe forgotten that Eunice is the guy he needs to beat for that title. He doesn't need to win the race, he doesn't have to outrun the bear, he just has to outrun Eunice, so to speak. The bear in this case, I guess, is therefore Stefan Robichaud. In this analogy that I really don't know why I used it, I am going to be honest. We are going to have another pit stop in this race, and I don't know if Scott Frederick can get through the next 29.5 minutes on this tank. I don't think so. It'll take a heck of a lot of fuel saving to do so, which may just lose him so much time that it may not be enough. Then it may not matter. In the meantime, Jackson Altman's lead has shrunk. I think he may have struggled to lap Logan Cool, by the looks of things. Ugh. I think there was a bit of communication there. I think AJ basically asked Logan, please get out of my way. I'm having to chase down my teammate. For the race win and a championship I've already clinched just by way of Dominic Kubinski not being here. Pretty much. I mean, he was tied with Heredia. They were both on 260 points, and obviously one guy is here and the other isn't. It just, you know, I don't think Heredia can make up enough points in the 7-car field to actually change the course of action there. Battle between Holden Horn and Preston Van Wee. Deshaun Davis is getting front row seats as Holden actually signals where he is moving to as Deshaun overtakes both him and Deshaun's own teammate Preston. Oh boy, that's a spinning Deshaun, and that is not damage for Holden, but it cost him a bunch of momentum and it gave Preston the spot back. And now here comes Oxtaconis, who has found some pace in the latter half of this race. And perhaps he's finally gotten accustomed to his machine. He will out-drag Holden as well, so the spinning Deshaun may have just cost him 2 places. Although I believe, you know, Holden will fight that back. He will sweep around the outside and survive. And Oxtaconis will spin on the way out of the final turn. And eventually get back going. Ridwan is exiting the pits. I was not aware he even needed to pit at this juncture. You think he's going back there to cover off, Scott? Is that a thing he could be doing? He's not even with them. Around goes Oxtaconis a second time. Just when I thought maybe he's getting used to the car. The car is fighting back, and it is fighting dirty. I suppose Scott does, is that why he did that? I just realized Scott may have stayed out specifically to collect on the mid-distance points. I think that would line up with that time-wise. But now it's hurt him in the long run. He's not going to get as many actual race points with the way things currently stand. As he's currently getting out-dragged by Oxtaconis. He'll be able to break way later, though, and I don't even think AJ2 really even forced the issue. Like, that is just not his issue. That is not his fight. To try and keep this just. I don't think he's driving angry, but he is driving in anger, to say the least. Is that Porsche? He doesn't have any reason to bother trying to keep that back. Preston is signaling. Actually, I think he was paused based on the way he took that right-hander. Your fuel tank's running a bit low there, Holden. It feels like everybody is at different stages of the race right now. At least every GT car, anyway. Now, how did this happen? I've really been neglecting the hypercar race, just on the whole. When did AJ lose second? What transpired there? At one point he was catching Altman Now, at this point, he's behind Heredia and running away from Boryoshi. I missed something big there, clearly. Altman catches the the GT3 leaders, Riker. This is not a hypercar. And AJ goes into the pits for the final time. But all of the hypercars will need to do the same. So he's trying to undercut Heredia and Altman in one go, it seems. Altman, I think, will have to come in this time. His fuel tank will not allow him to go any further, it seems. AJ exits the pits into traffic, so that will not help his outlap any. Especially since part of that traffic is actually a car in his class that will not receive blue flags, but I don't know if Adam will really be... I don't know if he'll want to fight back too much, nor do I really think he'll be able to, even if he does want to. Those tires are not great. And AJ, you know, took pole. Adam Pelk did not. It's just that simple, you know? It's not anything to say like, oh, you have no chance keeping behind him. It just, the numbers show the pace difference between these two cars is at least 2 seconds without tire wear in place. So, yeah. That's not at all where I expected that pass to be made, but it was in fact made. And there was not a whole lot Adam could do or did about it. But here is where it really matters. AJ right up to the back of Heredia. Warm-up tire phase is not really a thing here like it would be in, say, F124 or real-life motorsports. I know there is a tire heat thing, but it doesn't really mean as much in GT7 as it does in other more realistic racing games. I can't believe it just called F124 realistic, but I mean, it has realistic features. Even if that game feels really unrealistic and feels like you're driving on a frying pan. But that's neither here nor there. Jackson Altman has a penalty that will not help. That was a pit lane exit penalty for good measure. That will absolutely knock him right out of contention. He was the leader, but one bad pit entry later, and suddenly he's out of the top 5. Yoshi pits. He will not be the leader. So Heredia has gained the race lead with just over 20 minutes to go in the race. Yunus has entered the pit lane. His final pit stop is done. His biggest issue, you know, the guy he's probably concerned about the most, is 10 seconds back on the harder tires. So I think that barring any unforeseen circumstances, that it is his championship to win, or that's really his championship to lose, actually. And it's just down to see where Robichaud comes out. Does he remain ahead of Yunus? Has the undercut done something to at least get him within striking distance of the 06 car? That's a sketchy pit entry there. I don't know if the game will have that. Oh, that's an overtake. That is Altman at least getting one of those places back on Boryoshi. We'll see if the other Vision 47 driver can also make an overtake right here. Logan Cool will be in the way. Not exactly, he's just going to be kind of in the area. He had just enough time to move over a lane or so and let the hypercar battle play out. That is a big exit for Heredia. That's going to be even bigger slipstream for AJ Knickel. Heredia is trying to break the toe down the back straightaway. It's not going to do enough for that, though. A tenth apart. Get on the brakes. Down the inside goes the 47 car. Gets it stopped barely. Heredia was actually too passive there. AJ pushed it to the limit. And that could be the pass for the win right there, unless Heredia has something to say about it. You'll need to speak up and speak now before AJ drives off into the sunrise, as it seems the sun will be coming up in the near future. Altman up to the back of Adam Pelk. Unfortunately, there's not much you can do to deal with him yet through the S section. He's going to have to wait until the right-hander, I think. The serviceable exit, yep. Adam doesn't even bother defending the inside. He just, yeah, there's just nothing. Those tires are shredded. He can't do anything. Boryoshi will be next, and I imagine that won't take much longer because those tires are, as I said, dead. Despite every crazy thing that's played out along the way, we've still ended up stepping on the metaphorical rake to end up with an FR Racing 1-2 in GT. As I speak, Red One darn near tosses that in the bin. Another big save caught on camera. A little bit of a rally involved that time. A Lexus rally car, that is certainly an idea. Heredia did not have a good time getting ahead of Holden there. Lost 2 whole seconds navigating that Porsche. AJ will just take that and run. Matt Hall is now on the back of the 6 car as a result of that very difficult overtake. But he won't be applying too much pressure as he had a really awkward exit from the right-hander and has no momentum down the back straightaway. So, very late on the brakes though, right back up to his bumper. Where are you going, Heredia? Oh, that's a big hit. Rodas forgot to turn in? I have never. I have simply not ever. He has just thrown that right out. I thought Red One was about to throw something in the bin, but that's the whole recycling plant right there. Then more contact. Boryoshi not expecting to be so off the pace with engine damage. That is a safety car. Heredia, you look like an absolute clown right now, my friend. I don't know what in the name of God was just happening there. I don't understand. I'm kind of surprised that's not a safety car. I don't know what the rule is on time remaining, but like, that was engine damage for Heredia. As dumb as the incident was, okay, yeah, there's the safety car. As I say, like, not only did Heredia get engine damage from his impact with the wall, but then he collected Boryoshi and a GT. I didn't catch who. I know it was a GT just based on the body shape, but I don't know what one. Oh, that makes it pretty obvious to figure out it was Holden. Yes, there he is right there. There is the guy. So, I do not know. I am stupefied by what I just witnessed. There There are a lot of things I could say. They're not really appropriate for the broadcast. A lot of things I should say, but don't want to. There are just a lot of things in general. I think we need to insult the intelligence of the king of sofas after that one. As close as I can get. I already slipped the H and D words earlier for the first time in a while. Let's not go that far. This race has been an absolute roller coaster. We're still going to have about 8-9 minutes left of said race when we take the green flag. I'm wondering what we'll do for pit stops. Now suddenly I think Eunice is probably right to not pit. But at the same time, if he does pit and he doesn't lose too many, if only, you know, he'd almost need foresight to know how many cars behind him will go in. How many cars will be in between himself and his title rival if he goes in now. This has absolutely saved Scott Frederick's career. Basically, not literally, but it's brought him into the fold, let him save fuel, but he's on the wrong tires. He's not going to be able to really pass Eunice with the mediums on, especially not considering he was struggling to do so when he was on the softer tires because of straight line speed difference. Well, here we'll see. They do not pit unless the pits weren't open there. One more drink before the end of the race here. Frenchie is a dark horse, by the way. I would just like to point that out. His tires are basically fresh. And we've seen the AMG with some unreal pace, especially in a straight line in this race already. Completely fresh tires. He will probably make him an appetizer out of Scott down the back straightaway. With how much that Porsche has suffered in a straight line in this race, and how much the AMG has excelled in that category, and the better tires and the softer compound, yeah, Scott he's donezo. The game is over. He just lost the game. You could even make a meal out of Ridwan, I think. And the Lexus is a little bit better in a straight, but just the tire difference. And if he gets a bit of slipstream, like a lap or two, he may have a harder time with Itkunen because his tires are still in pretty good condition, all things considered. Soon we find out if pits are open here or if they were open before nobody took. Oh man, that is a left rear tire. Maybe. That's a vague interpretation of a left rear tire at least. Holy crap, no wonder Logan is taking so long to get up there. He's having to tightrope that thing. I've been there once. And last time I drove a Honda, I wore on my left rear at Watkins Glen and was basically playing one of those Initial D arcade cabinets that they mostly have in Japan. I was proud of my ability to even hold on to the car for 2 whole laps in that condition, but it didn't really earn me much, all things considered, especially since everybody else was kind of in the same boat, if I recall. Well, yeah, we're definitely not green, because AJ's still sitting in 6th gear. So pits are open now. Who decides? Jackson Altman decides. Really? Is he having a fuel scare? Speaking of fuel scare, oh my lord above. Yeah, you need to take that car in. He gets a pit lane entry, I think, penalty as well for that. Preston and AJ2 pit. Obviously Logan didn't have a choice in the matter. That's really saved him, like, crazy that the safety car did happen when it did, because otherwise he would have been pit under green, and he was already in the back as it was, so this is the only thing that's giving him even a bit of a chance to not finish in last place. Still kinda anybody's game in GT3 now, with what will probably be about 7 minutes to go in the race when we take the green, so it's gonna be, I'd say 6 laps to go, since laps are about 1:10 for a hypercar. Well, it's a little less than that, but also not gonna be exactly 7 minutes. Oh no, it might be a 7th lap. No, it won't be. It'll be 6. I have no idea. I'll be able to tell once we actually get to the green flag and look at how much time is left. That's 8 minutes to go right there. I still do think this is still more or less Eunice's race to lose. Hello? Holden? Yeah? What? Did his controller die? He has legged out of the race. Ouch. He just needed to last, like, either legged out or he had to leave for some kind of, like, immediate, like, thing or issue. We'll just pretend he had an engine problem. For the sake of, like, kayfabe, I guess. But yeah, I think this is still Eunice's race to lose. Scott's on the harder tires, and they're not much better shape either. They're actually in worse shape than Eunice's soft, so the differences will even out. He's got Red 1 playing tail gunner. His biggest competitor right now, I think his biggest threat is actually Robichaud, just because of the pace that guy has had in straight line and speed. And we are green for what should be the final time. 6 minutes and 42 seconds left to determine the winner of the Petit Le Mans. So it'll definitely be 6 laps from here to the finish line. Thing is, I don't know how much of an impact the halfway points will have. I don't know what the... Interesting. You can definitely tell he's pushing. You can definitely tell he is pushing. He is pushing too much. He's about pushing himself out of the field, just about. Stefan Robichaud is no longer hesitating. He will not sugarcoat it. Down the inside, the AMG goes. And even if he doesn't get him on the way out of this corner, he's going to have the better exit. And even if he doesn't have the better exit, he's going to have slipstream. Oh, that's a leg spike for Holden Horn. That is what has done it. That is a lot more power in that AMG. I think Frederick accidentally blocked there. Either that or Robichaud just doesn't feel like influencing the points. I don't know why you would do that. At this point, you might as well go for it, right? What? Oh, wait, no, that wasn't what that was. That's right. I forgot Jackson Altman had an oopsie with the pit entry and got backhanded by the stewards for it. I think Yoshi may have made an error there. Now that I think about it, with 6 minutes 40 left, this could be 5 laps to the finish, which at this point now will be like 3? No, 4. Yeah, 4 minutes 20 to go. Yeah, no, there's only going to be 3 laps left. We're not running minute 5s, we're running minute 8s and 9s. The only battle on track is Logan Cool defending from the straight line speed of the AMG at the moment. Everybody's, like, I mean, surprisingly not... Oh, well, that's an easy defense. If Oxtacolnist just overcooks it on the way out of the corner, that'll do it. I forgot I'm just seeing what they see. That is a battle. Duh. Heredia, I think, is attacking Boryoshi there. I mean, got a much better run out of the slow right-hander, but maybe he didn't. Actually, no, I think Yoshi did. And down to the braking zone they go. Battle for 3rd in play here. Jackson Altman, I think, passed both of them. I believe he was behind one or the other at least. Heredia will box his way by. He will pursue Jackson Altman for a consolation prize at most, as AJ is 2 seconds and change up the road. I don't think anybody will be able to get to him in a couple of laps' time. I'm honestly shocked that Robichaud was not more of a threat. I mean, I guess part of it was that he just kind of seemed to abstain. But, like, this is a race. You are allowed to pass. I'm not exactly sure I understand why he would refuse to overtake. That just seems like, not race manipulation, but just kind of like, pointless. Why would you not pass him? What do you care who wins the championship, right? Like, there's being a class act, and then there's just technically being biased in a way if he's choosing not to pass him. I don't know. There's a nuance to it why he's choosing not to interfere with the battle. Like, it should be that Scott Frederick has to be ahead of him. Like, he has to be the faster car. That's how you win a championship, right? You don't win a championship by taking wide corner exits like that, Red One. Not that he was ever trying to. He was a reserve, but still. Yep, that's a penalty. That'll basically send him back to Scott Frederick. That could be a place for him if he can, you know, capitalize, but I don't think he's close enough to do that. A pack of 3 heading down the S's for the second to last time of the race. Not quite the last time, that's an 8 down there. Ah, my eyes! There are headlights there. Jeez. I thought we'd be seeing the sun by now, but it's still nighttime. Here's the pay window for Jackson Altman. Easily gets up alongside Boryoshi, or does he? He kind of does-ish? Yep, there we go, he's alongside, but he's going to have to go the long way by. There's a yellow flag ahead. It sucks to call us again. And it's Boryoshi getting caught up with it. My lungs are giving up on me here. Boryoshi had to back out of that because there was a spun AMG on the racing line. That's giving Jackson Altman the spot. White flag is in the air. AJ Knickel needs only to make 2 more sectors of racetrack before he has won both the race and the championship. A grid 1 moment right there. And time will expire, I believe, for... It'll be very close. Yeah, no. Eunice will just be able to list here. So, final chicane, 10 seconds left on the clock, and because GT7's a goofy game, the race will be over once the clock hits a minute and hour 30. So Jonas Idkanen, I mean, he'll start the final lap, but he's going to be the only one starting it. I don't know why he didn't just let off. He will win the championship. He gets to basically take a victory lap as he has won the GT3 championship in AEC this season. AJ Knickel, with a victory in hand as well here at the Petit Le Mans, will win the Hypercar championship. Somebody was in the grass just there. Heredia and Boryoshi round out the Hypercar podium. And Ridwan and Scott Frederick rounds out the GT podium. So, yeah, we're basically just, that's basically just Eunice taking himself a victory lap. He definitely had the hardest title fight, or the harder title fight, since AJ didn't really have much of one going into this final round, but it's been very up and down in this race for him. It's been very back and forth between both him and Scott Frederick in general for the title. And despite being turned in the middle of the S's, he's won it all. While we're watching Eunice Itkunen finish up Petit Le Mans here, I would like to take this time to thank ARC's big sponsors in the form of DIVEBOMB and the Racing Rats. DIVEBOMB, our media partner and title sponsor, who covers all of motorsports news, and the Racing Rats, our modding partners over on the Assetto Corsa side of things, that keep our Assetto Corsa series running with high quality mods and general maintenance upon those mods, I suppose. Also to SimMakePro.com as well, but to a lesser extent. Not as much commitments from them as there used to be, but that is it. AJ Knickel and Eunice Itkunen are both your race winners and season champions. Be on the lookout same time next week, May 4th, for the opening 2 rounds of the ATCC. For Group 4 competition, I will be again bringing you that action myself. And yeah, that's it. And for me, for champions, everybody in general that has contributed to easily the most, or at least one of the most entertaining championships I've ever broadcasted. Unfortunately, I couldn't quite broadcast all 10 of them. I was too tired for Watkins Glen. But yeah, just crazy championship to have been able to call, even if there wasn't much of a title fight in hypercars. But yeah, hoping for more of the same for ATCC. But for the, until then, I am out of here.